Hello and welcome. My name is Billy, and in this video, I'll be doing a book haul of some of the recent books I got. Some of these are Christmas presents, some of them I got for myself, some of them, but not all at once. I have about 16 books here, so I'll just hop right in. So, the first book I have is The Pepsi Cola Addict by June Allison Gibbons. Earlier this year, I read The Silent Twins, which was a book about two Trinidadian twins who were in the UK, and they only like to talk to each other. They only want to spend time with each other, and they end up going on like an arson spree and ending up in a mental institution. But one of the things they liked to do together was write stories, and they would submit them to publishers. And one of the sisters was able to get her story published, and this is that story. So this is about like a 14-year-old boy who is addicted to Pepsi Cola, and he like has to choose between Pepsi Cola and a girl that he likes. Just knowing that backstory about them and like their mind and the way they were thinking, I was just intrigued to read this story. Next, I have Normal People by Sally Rooney. It's about two people falling in love. I honestly don't know that much about it, but I've seen people give it really good reviews and say that Sally Rooney's a good writer. The next book I have is Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote. I actually couldn't help but read this as soon as I got it. It's a very short book. This is actually Breakfast at Tiffany's, and then it has 3 other short stories. Breakfast at Tiffany's is one of my favorite movies, probably. And all I can say is book Holly Golightly is not like movie Holly Golightly. But I feel like this needs its own, like, this diving into this needs its own video. But these next 3... Someone Else's Bucket List by Amy T. Matthews. The Reading List by Sarah Misha Adams. And Breeding Looney Steps Forth, or Breda Looney Steps Forth by Oliver Sands. So all 3 of these books kind of have somewhat similar themes. In all 3 of these books, someone dies, and then the people... I see it as them like 3 ways people are grieving, and it's all in different ways. Someone Else's Bucket List, a sister, this woman's sister passes away. Her sister is an influencer, and so she decides that she's going to do all the things her sister had on her bucket list. Like it's like grieving through adventure. Looney Steps Forth, I believe. In this one, it's about a woman who, her mother's sick. She goes home to take care of her mother. Her mother passes away. And then while going through her mother's things, she finds something that I think either the father she thought was dead might be alive. Going on the search to like find her father. This is like grieving through like trying to solve a mystery. The Reading List, it's about a grandfather and his granddaughter. And I think the grandmother passes away. And the grandfather, I feel like he doesn't really have anything to do, and he's also kind of worried about his granddaughter. But I think somebody, like a librarian, finds this list in a book through the grandfather and granddaughter going through this reading list. They kind of gain a deeper connection and kind of are able to kind of process the loss of the grandmother. This is actually a winter or Christmas themed book. It's very short. I've never read anything from this author before. This is A Snow White Christmas by Toni Shiloh. It is about if I remember correctly, a girl, and she's engaged, and then she finds out her fiance is actually having an affair with her stepmother, and he was really only with her to kind of gain the fortune that I guess the woman's father left behind. So when she finds this out, she kind of just rushes out, and it's a blizzard, and she is going out into this blizzard. She gets stuck and ends up staying somewhere and is going to fall in love with whoever is at the place where she's staying. It seemed like a cute, light Christmas winter read. Not a light read is My Brother by Jamaica Kincaid. It's a story about Jamaica Kincaid's brother who was dying of AIDS, And I think she's just writing about like his last days and maybe how she's processing it and her family's processing it. I believe that's what it's about. I read Annie John by Jamaica Kincaid and enjoyed it, so I wanted to read another one of her books. This next one is The Deep Blue Between by, oh goodness, Aisha Haruna Atta. I don't know if I said that right. This story is about two sisters. They might be twins. Yes, they're twin sisters. And I think there's like conflict in their country and they're separated during this conflict. Somehow they're able to like communicate mentally, and they are like trying to get back together. They like communicate through like their dreams. This is interesting. If you can't tell, I love books about sisters. I actually have twin sisters. I'm not a twin, they're twins. So I'm always fascinated with stories about twins. Next, I have To Room 19 by Doris Lessing. I think this is a collection of short stories. This was inspired. I wanted this book. This book was inspired by me watching a K-drama. I can't remember what K-drama it was, but they referenced the book and it made me want to read it. So I think it's about a woman, like one of the stories at least, I think is about a woman who is a wife, she's a parent, and she like rents a room just to like have a moment of peace to herself. And I feel like it's like one of those introspective type books where you kind of are, the characters are looking like going through some type of transformation emotionally. Next, I have Never Let Me Go. This was one where I just feel like people have given it really great reviews. Kathy, Ruth, and Tommy are students at this school. And then years later, they get together and they're beginning to look back at their shared past and understand just what it is that makes them so special and how that gift will shape the rest of their lives together. So I've heard this is really good writing. I'm a sucker for prose, so I hope it stands up to the hype. Now, kind of moving into, I guess, like mystery classics type books. My first one is a book by Walter Mosley, A Red Death. This is actually the second book in the Easy Rawlings series. The first one is Devil in a Blue Dress, which I read and really enjoyed. And then American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. Again, I love books that kind of look into like the mind of people. So it says, Patrick Bateman is handsome, well-educated, intelligent. He works by day on Wall Street, earning a fortune to complement the one he was born with. His nights he spends in ways we cannot begin to fathom. He is 26 years old and living his own American dream. And then this next one was a gift actually from my coworker. I had been talking to her about Blackwater by Joyce Carol Oates, which is based off of one of the Kennedys, and it's based off of the story where somehow his car ends up in a lake or pond or something, and the girl inside with him ends up drowning and dying, but he somehow doesn't. The strange part is he doesn't like report it to the police until like hours later. And so in Blackwater, it's basically from the girl's perspective and what she's thinking inside the car as she's like not able to escape and it's slowly just submerging into the water. But I say all that to say, I was talking to my coworker about that book and about, that real life story. And she got me this book, which looks at different crimes done by people who either like they have like a suspicious death or like someone has gotten away with it, and he kind of like dives into it and like finds what he deems are truths. It's gonna look at O.J. Simpson, the death by fire of multi-billionaire banker Edmund Safra, the murder of Martha Moxley, and the indictment decades later of Michael Skakel. The next book I have is The Road Back. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. but I read All Quiet on the Western Front by this author, and which is about a German soldier during World War II. And I really, really enjoyed that. Would highly recommend that book. But this is the second book to that, which I didn't know it had a second book. And it's basically kind of like life after World War II for that same soldier, from the perspective of that soldier. Okay, two more. These last two are classics. The first one is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. It says it's a murder story told from a murderer's point of view. I was interested in it because I believe people said that it talks about, is a crime, depending on who commits it. And if you do think that it's different depending on who commits it, what does that say about us as people? And like, I guess, judgment, and how what we deem a crime and what we deem a proper punishment depending on who does the crime. And then the last book is this hefty one, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I'm gonna be honest. I actually have no idea what this is about, but I've seen so many raving reviews, and I love classics, so I was like, I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna give it a try. We're gonna go for it. Yeah, this one I'll be completely surprised when I start reading it. These, I don't even think I can hold them all. Oh. So these are all the books that I got for the holidays. Many from family and friends, and some from myself. So, have you read any of these books? Without spoilers, did you like any of them? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.